All set.
All right, I'm gonna call this meeting to order. On February 10th at 6:35. Before we make an approval on it, I think we want to change number 3 for the bylaw update work session. I think we're just gonna do a discussion for the planning, bylaws and planning. Make it a discussion session right now.
Well, that would still fall under work session because part of that would be a discussion. So I don't think we really need to change it yet.
So then we'll board member roll call.
Bob Jarvis,
Brian Harris,
Stacy Boxer.
And John Bashy. And,
did anybody remote in?
No, nobody's going.
and then, we're gonna discuss the bylaw update work session. And then we'll have an adjournment.
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda.
I'll take it.
I don't think we had to call
Well, we have a quorum.
it. Okay. I'll, make a
Like
motion
an
for,
informal work.
If we were less than a quorum, we could still operate as an informal session, but now that we have a quorum, it makes it an official meeting.
This will be.
so, look for a motion and a second to approve the.
I motioned Stacy second.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Unanimous.
And, so then we're,
So I guess jump right into what we were informed.
so you guys are updated now. We had to work on a town plan for, instead of the bylaws.
Okay.
Because it's gonna be coming up, it's gonna be coming due by the time we start working on them. And if we don't update that first, and, by the time we get done working on them, it'll be ready.
Yeah, the town plan expires in 2
Plan to go
years.
back
It
to it
takes
again.
better part of a year to get the town plan to work through it. Zoning bylaws are probably going to take 6 months or more. So essentially we would do the bylaws, turn right around, have to start working on the town plan and then have to
Then
redo the
change the
bylaws
bylaws.
after. So it just makes more sense to just start doing the town plan now. Then after that, then do the bylaws.
That makes sense.
Scott made it sound so easy, like copying and pasting of the bylaws.
So some of it can be.
Yeah.
I mean, just because we're going to redo it doesn't mean every bylaw gets changed.
Right, it's only gonna be updating, but there's gonna be some things that are just out of whack when the plan's updated. So, and the plan probably doesn't need a whole lot either, probably just gonna be a few things that might
So-
just jump into, because we have a new center and stuff like that we're looking at, so that would have to get put into it.
So.
What else we had some.
But I mean, I know, well, I'm not sure how this is gonna work. I mean, technically, we're kind of pivoting position from going from bylaws to town plan, but I think we can still have the discussion on what we're gonna have to do going forward. Obviously, we're not making changes today.
It sounds like a general discussion because don't we need to get, when we did the previous town plan, it was very heavy involvement of our municipal planning grant consultant, which at the time was BCRC.
Yeah.
And then, and they worked pretty closely with everybody. They're the ones that came up with the format. And then, I wasn't involved in that, but I got involved in it towards the end of creating the town plan. But from all the ones that I've seen, it was very heavy involvement of the BCRC.
Yeah, and I think that's what we're gonna have to do is we're gonna have to request the select board to.
So you don't think we could do it?
Well, I think we need to decide what it is we want in
Or we
it.
would have to put in
Right.
so much time.
Yeah,
We kind of pick what we want to put in it and then we give them the general direction and then they do the legal wording of it and make it legit.
and I think, I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say that BCRC did say that they have the capacity to work with us for the town plan as well, if we choose to do that first. And we can apply for the media plan grant.
Which is due by March 31st.
Yes.
Yep.
We can
So
do that
we-
town plan as well.
And I,
We don't apply for that, the select board does.
right, but we have to
Yes,
tell them,
Sarah
they
and
have to,
I will,
Right,
yes, work. with
so we just gotta craft a letter to
Yeah,
send to the select board, say requesting.
and then they do.
Basically, some kind of simple
A
request.
request for
Apply for the
bid.
grant, then when we're granted the grant, they put out the RFP. Usually we go with the BCRC, but
Usually they're the only ones that bid on it.
usually, but sometimes you get another one. And then the board makes the choice of who to use as the consultant, and then we, the planning commission, work with the consultant to come up with a new town plan. But that in mind, since the BCRC did both of those previous studies, the one for the town green and the one for economic development, they'll be here. We'll have to build it into the town plan. So then from that town plan, we can then move forward with
Yeah, I think it's actually gonna be hopefully a smoother process. Because I think we're gonna, in my mind, I think we have a pretty good idea of where we have to make some targeted changes and what, at least I know what some of the changes I would like to see put into the town plan.
I just want to make sure that we come out of it being extremely business friendly.
Agreed.
And,
I would like to see 7 and 346 more targeted toward commercial, light industrial.
and that is one of the spots that was identified by that
Yeah,
economic development.
there's
as well.
the 5 locations that they had.
Yeah, that was one of them,
Yeah.
was I guess
So-
up behind Winchester's or
We
up in there.
work with the BCRC hopefully to, well, whoever wins the bid, I don't want to seem like we're prejudiced or biased, I should say. All right, so then should we? I don't know what else. I think we should need to get the ball rolling as far as asking the select board to get the municipal planning grant applied for so that we can get the request for bid in. So that we can start officially working on this process.
It's due by the end of March.
Yeah, but like we kind of need to get, I don't think we can. I mean, this is only a work session. I don't know if we can officially do that tonight or not.
Can we draft?
Hopefully do what?
I think if you're going to vote on it to ask the select board, you should do that at
A regular
the
meeting. And when's our next one scheduled?
Date.
18th.
And what,
Will there be enough time?
About that today, and she said that's enough time.
Okay, that was gonna be my next concern. Is there enough time? But if there's gonna be enough time, I guess we can wait a week.
I'm sorry, what was what's the request?
Basically to apply for the municipal planning grant.
Oh, I don't think we need to vote on that. We can just ask, we can just make sure that the
I thought we
board
had
is
to vote
aware.
to ask that. I mean, listen, if we don't have to vote, I'm
Think when,
just make the.
what I remember doing before, I think we just put it into them. I don't remember voting on that. When we did it, the bylaws last time,
Yeah,
when we suggested for a grant at the time, I think we just, what I remember doing is the board just came in agreement. We were all
We have to
saying,
give
yeah,
them a
we all
letter?
think so, and then we
Do we have to give them
submitted
a letter?
Yeah, we submitted a letter, just said, here's our suggestion to try to apply for.
okay.
Do we just want to
So,
send them?
and it was like a 1 sentence, yeah, it wasn't very.
Well, then, as chair of the planning commission, I would suggest you request.
Yes. Write something.
We have
Fantastic.
Municipal
The
planning
select
grant.
board did request that you will update the bylaws anyway, so maybe they could just change their request to update the town plan. They can talk about that at the meeting and then have Tara move forward with the grant.
Because our next meeting's what, this Thursday?
Yes.
Yeah, I could write up something and
So switching hats.
Run the select board also.
So I will definitely make sure we discuss that and the rationale behind it on why we as a select board or we as a planning commission wish to change tact and go to the town plan
Doesn't it
first.
have to be put on the agenda there?
There's still time to have it placed on the agenda. Yeah, I think the agenda has to be posted by tomorrow though, right?
Yeah, I don't know if she posted it today.
All right.
Well, even if you couldn't, it's one of those things that they could actually add at the
Yeah,
beginning.
we just add it to the agenda.
Better to have it on up front, but you can always add it because it's just the annual request. I
Yeah,
think we get one of those every year. I mean, we used one for both of those recommendations
excuse me.
and we used it for the initial town plan as well. Or for our existing town plan.
now I know we talked about two, my thinking is it's gonna be a later time, but we talked about applying for some kind of grant for updates and stuff, but the more I've thought about it, I don't think we can do it yet because we don't even have an idea of what is applied for an update for the system. So without meeting with
Well,
Darcy on that stuff to kind of get ideas maybe.
well, it's kind of one of these things. It's like, it's hard to try to get an estimate for upgrading a system when you don't know what level of upgrade you're doing.
Right.
I mean, are you requesting an upgrade
have
to
to
add the
know-
capacity of adding 2,000 residents down at that end of town? Or are you
No, but if
requesting
we're
an upgrade
talking
to
about-
add 50 people
If
working
we're
in that
talking
moment?
about commercial on Route 7, we have to know that they can upgrade it. And what kind of cost are we talking about?
I guess, and that's,
Yeah.
yeah, that's exactly right. I think it is, and there's thresholds, right? This is what it costs in order to add the next piece. So it's probably not going to be cost effective because you're going to have to add some serious infrastructure.
Yeah.
And as you get more and more users, it becomes more and more cost effective,
Right.
and then you hit the next threshold. So we have to know what
But
those
if they
thresholds.
say it's gonna be $3 million to upgrade it, to get one store in on Route 7, that may be, excessive. They may say no.
Yeah, well, that's true.
There's
That's,
a bond right now, by the way, on the sewage system.
there is. It's,
I noticed it in the town plan.
yeah, that's been around since they built it. It was a super fund that first built it in the early 2000s, I believe.
Oh, it's the same
2001.
bond? It's never been paid off?
Actually, that should have been paid off, wasn't that?
I think it's supposed to be.
It's 20 year on
I
that,
think
so
it's a new
that's,
bond.
The only new bond
Something
I'm
newer.
aware of.
we didn't,
There's the town hall, there's a bond on the town hall.
Yeah, there's a
And that
bond
was
on the
20
town
years,
hall.
that's gotta be
yeah, but
something left.
that's a separate, that should have been paid off though. There was a 20-year bond and it was started in 2021 or 2001.
Now, maybe they did some upgrades at the wastewater treatment facility and maybe we got a bond for that. I don't know.
I don't remember hearing about any of this.
I don't either.
The original one, we were paying like, everybody, users were $75 or something like that for that. And people who were not on it was $35 for everybody not on it. And that's been over 20 years now. That might be just left in place and nobody's.
Sewer system bond,
Updated it.
6/30/2024, 1,089,000 and change.
1 million, that's how much is
Final,
remaining?
final payment 2000, in the year 2035.
Oh, wow. That must have been a 50-year bond or,
I don't
Well,
know.
that would.
no, that would be a 35-year bond, yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember it being that long.
Then
There's a whole
then there's a
article on that.
municipal office bond.
There's a
Final
whole article
payment
out there.
2041.
Banner wrote an article, wrote out that whole.
Well, I think the original proposal, the board might have taken it out for a longer time, so it was a lower amount every year.
That could be.
I think it's been renewed.
Because that was part of the thing.
On in June. The date of this is 6/30/24.
No, to redo a bond like that would have to go before the voters. That's not something that the select board can just.
That's
I
probably
don't remember hearing anything like that, but
That's probably the date they
That's
wrote
the end
that.
of our fiscal year, it might
Yeah.
be what was remaining at the end of our fiscal year.
the remaining balance of the bond.
Yeah, the 6/30 date is what you're saying, is that's the end of the fiscal year.
Yeah.
Every fiscal year starts.
Okay.
on.
So it's the original bond.
The municipal office bond is 2041.
I swear.
So that
Yeah,
being
so-
said, are they gonna upgrade the system and put more money into this with a bond existing?
Yeah, I don't know. That's a good question.
Yeah.
And then the
Who
other.
can answer that?
Well, I think we need the BCRC to help us research what is available for federal grants, for local grants, state grants and what other assistance. And then what's remaining would probably go to a bond. If there was, and of course, if there's nothing available, then it's got to pay for itself. I don't think that means that businesses can't come here. I think businesses just would have to have,
They would essentially be putting in their own.
putting in their
private septic
septic and, yeah.
or paying for upgrades. If you get the right business, you might be able to partner with the right business, but
And then maybe you
That
can get
makes
enough
it a
of
little
those
less
businesses that would justify, eventually,
Doing an upgrade.
hopefully, if everything works out. But this is all, I think we're all just, it's all speculation, right?
yeah,
We're kind of just speculating how it could play out.
I think making the town plan, giving it wording that we are open toward increasing economic development in certain areas, maybe can spark the interest and then,
What would be ideal is if the direction to the planning commission from the select board was economic development. I think that would help quite a bit. I'm not sure how much guidance the select board gave for the previous town plan, because that was written before I became involved in town.
Yeah, I don't know what the direction was either. That was before my time.
So I'm not sure where the direction came from or where the current vision came from.
I think not upgrading the sewage system would be a detriment to a business wanting to come in, knowing that Pownell has a sewage system, and then you're gonna tell the person, yeah, but you're gonna have to do a septic system on your own. You know?
Oh, I agree totally. I agree totally. Ideally,
The sewage system
would be
is a
the
big
expansion.
plus for a business to come into this town.
yeah. And so the big question, and maybe that's for the BCRC, is what do we need to do to justify an upgrade to the wastewater treatment facility and
Or
what-
do we even need an upgrade?
We'll
Do
definitely
we know we
need,
need that?
we'll need one because we're almost at capacity now, so.
Okay.
Yeah, we've been at capacity for a while. I mean, in order for somebody to come on, somebody has to leave.
Okay,
And that's, we've
so
been
it's,
that way for a
so it's
while.
at maximum right now.
Yeah. So that's been kind of a thorn in the side.
All right, so we gotta,
All right, so
I'll write a quick letter out to the select board.
requesting them to apply for the
I mean,
municipal
yeah.
planning grant.
And yeah, to apply, but you guys won't be doing that until your
We
following,
meet Thursday.
early enough to get it in there. It's probably gonna in time. You want another thing on your list?
Yeah. For the agenda, yeah,
Okay,
it needs to happen. I mean,
all right, I'll get one in there.
I don't think it takes much. I think that you just,
no, it's just, we vote on it and we authorize Tara or Hannah to work on filling out the application and submitting it.
All right,
So you send that letter?
I'll get
Don't
that.
forget,
Yep,
today.
yep. As soon as I get done right here, I'm gonna talk with Anna and figure something quick out on that and
Okay, cool.
well,
And then
This is gonna
if
be-
Hannah will ask Tara to put it on the agenda to make sure that it's officially on the agenda. If not, we can just add it.
I'll get you in there.
All right, and then, I guess,
We're still meeting on the 16th, Sunday.
we might not,
I would say probably don't need that next Sunday one,
Because
that's
it's not gonna do us. any-
because
Okay, so we're gonna do
the whole
it.
process changed, so we're gonna go to the 18th, is what I would say. We'll go to the 18th and we'll have our regular meeting. Hannah, did you check with Darcy, see if she'd be able to come in or not?
No, I haven't seen that.
Okay.
excuse me.
Fletch,
I can follow up with.
A sneeze?
her tomorrow.
It was a sneeze.
God bless you.
Wednesdays.
Thank you.
Um,
So that, we can get some information from her while we're doing it. Yeah, so we'll do the 18th instead. Notify everybody that we're not gonna do the, Sunday meetings.
Do you want to let, Dave know? Cause I know he reserved the, library,
And I'll send him an email, make sure we get out to everybody.
which actually works out for me. I wasn't going to be able to make Sunday anyway. My daughter's a cheer competition on Sunday. I will be in Broad Alban, I think, this weekend.
Where?
Broad Alban?
Where's
Don't
that?
ask me. I have no idea. I'm just along
Is
for the
it-
ride.
Is that Connecticut, New York State, Vermont?
What part of don't ask me? I don't know what's confusing. I think it's in New York, but beyond that, I don't know.
Okay.
Oh yeah, Blake will probably be there. Blake goes to the same cheer school that my daughter goes
Oh,
to.
really?
What else do we need? We'll do that. Can't write a reports right now. Then the 18th, we'll discuss going in, well, maybe we'll do some discussion on what we'd like to see.
For a town plan or direction change.
Yeah, some wordage. See if we can put some words on paper. And, discuss that a little bit, and go from
That
there.
we wish to be an economically diverse community.
with a positive economic outlook.
Yes.
We want to be open for business.
Well, that's it. That's what it comes down to. I think our biggest downfall is gonna be, because there's no public water. That's really a downfall to a lot of places. Now, a lot of places still have wells, we have all that stuff, but I know there was a big issue with cabins in it and all that kind of stuff down there, so that hurt that area, some was
Yeah, but they're,
46.
that, the private water down that way is handling, they've been handling that, and I know Bob was on the board with us at that time too, like the select board at that time. We had no appetite. We had no desire to try to step in to take over and run it. And I still don't. They're managing their water system just fine. I don't feel there's any need for municipal intervention on our part unless they ask us for assistance.
Yeah,
That's my feeling on it.
That's my feeling on it too. It's they're already doing it, and
Yeah.
it is kind of stepping on their toes
Yeah.
to try to force your way in there. That doesn't mean we can't look for other water supplies for Pownell.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, there might be a need to possibly create another water district on, say, on top of the mountain,
Mhm.
or on top of the hill here. So, I mean, I know the town looked at it when they got the Strobridge property, but I think they decided there was too much uranium, wasn't it?
yes.
They were just slightly above the Vermont EPA
Yeah.
level.
Chemicals are hurting some areas, but it's like that, I tested my water up here, I got nothing.
Yeah, we tested ours. I mean, we had bacteria, but we shocked it, and 2 weeks later or whatever, we tested it again and it's fine.
So
So,
bacteria is a normal thing you're gonna find in all your water,
yeah.
but no bad cabins or nothing like that, you're good.
All right. Well, if there's nothing else to discuss,
All right, I'll do that. Quick note. to
sorry you
guys.
took the day off to come sit with us, Bob.
No. I literally have
The day off from
calls.
work.
I literally have calls that end right at 6. So I can't make it for a 6 o'clock meeting in person. And that's why I'm zooming in, and usually I'm like a minute late
Mhm.
because I'm trying to, well, I really got to go, guys. I really got to go. So,
I just
Sure,
assumed you
I
were
could-
always on the road and using a stock background photo.
oh, no.
In my mind, you're in like some hotel conference room somewhere.
I don't travel as much anymore.
Oh, good for you. All right, so send a letter to the select board for the municipal planning grant, and I'll make sure we discuss the reasoning why we want to transition over to doing the town plan first, the rationale behind it, and get the ball rolling on that part of it.
Yep.
And then meet again on the 18th
18,
and go from there.
do some discussion.
If, as a commission, we could go look at, just so we have it in our heads, what we agree and disagree with those two studies. You know, what do we like? What do we not like?
Yeah, because some of the ideas they had are just like, they're like pie in the sky wish list.
And I'm
Yes.
not sure, like the five zones for industrial. We may agree with 4 of them or 3 of them instead of all 5, and we
Yeah.
may have different ideas on which ones we like, which ones we
I
don't.
mean, I would like to be able to enact all of them, but I think like what you had mentioned before about the cost to the benefit of what the town would need to do for infrastructure upgrades versus the potential benefit of it.
Well, remember, if you change the zoning, that doesn't mean that something's going to be there.
Oh, no, no.
So if you get the 5, if we agree on all 5 zones, it still might be that nobody buys the property and it
Right.
just
It
continues.
just means there's an
Right, you
additional
don't need to
option
limit
for
it.
use
You don't
of
need to
property.
limit it, do you?
Right.
What's that?
Just
You
that-
don't need to limit it
No,
to 3 of the 5.
No.
Well, no, we don't need to limit it, but what I'm saying is if we take a look at it and go, no, I really don't want any commercial use here because blah, 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 whatever our reasoning is. I just want to make sure that we agree, or at least, if we don't agree, that we know what each other's position.
Unfortunately, we don't really know what we don't want until it happens, okay? And then we say, oh my God, you know?
That's true. That's sometimes.
well, that's where your zoning bylaws come into effect. So you can zone and bylaw in restrictions. I mean, obviously, there was no appetite for a biomass facility back in the day.
Yeah, that you actually united a lot of people.
It did, actually. All right, well,
I've seen a lot of towns in Connecticut do these moratoriums where they don't want any more building going on for, X amount of months.
Yep.
So that could happen here at some point.
Well,
I think we're a long way from
I'm okay
that.
with more development along the Route 7 corridor, but I want economic development, not necessarily residential development.
That's,
I'm fine with people building homes on their own property, but to me, our commercial corridor should be kept
our
for,
citizens need jobs, is basically what,
Yeah,
I mean, that really
jobs.
comes down to. We got to raise that baseline standard of living. We can't have a bunch of retirees and a bunch of people that have to travel out of town for work,
yeah,
or just for our own subsistence,
because eventually that just,
opportunities.
to me, that just leads to people being forced out of being able to be property owners.
Yeah,
And it traps people in the rental game. And then once you fall into that, it's very hard to get out of it.
yeah,
So.
agree, all around. Well, I guess that's, are we, I make a motion to adjourn.
Okay,
I will second that motion.
all in favor?
Aye.
Have a good night.
Thank you, everybody.
Thanks, everybody.
Stay tuned.